see if FlyQuest can just shrug it off, mentally reset, and lock back in here for this second game.
All right, FlyQuest choosing last pick, LYON choosing blue side. So let's go ahead and see how it shakes out. Important to note that even though FlyQuest chose last pick, LYON is still choosing to ban the lockout for themselves, which means they do not want to prioritize it as a first pick option. They will also ban out the Galio, while Nocturne and Ezreal are banned by Fly.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing tournaments, traveling around a lot, so maybe not invest too much
They probably
time.
don't even know what he does. I have his abilities pulled up here on this monitor just in case somebody picks him. I don't know what they are.
He throws nails, and then he autos you for all of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
The grenade is just for style.
Yeah, that's for the executing
It
style.
just auto-attacks you and you're dead.
You can pick that up later, too, if you want. And anyways, we'll wait until we actually get him into the game. But let's focus right back down here because the Ezreal banned here as well. And the Ziggs and the Ezreal are kind of the two most safe and most played, over the last basically month of bot lane champions here. So we're going to follow it up with the Seraphine ban as well to kind of block Ashe Seraphine.
So Jayce and Ori are the two kind of conspicuously absent from the ban list in my mind. With the addition of the Galio and the Seraphine. So we'll see, is it just going to be a first pick Jayce here for Dhokla? And what angle do they want to go with this? Because it feels like I was trying to kind of think through, what the Galio ban would be setting up for, which that was the one that I wasn't as sure about. Because normally you see that as an answer to things like
Rumble,
sometimes, but more recently like Akali and melee champions that are kind of evasive, but some of the best champions that you want to play into were already played last game. So that one threw me off a little bit. But Jay seems pretty standard. I think we are probably going to see like buy Orianna or something along those lines as an answer because I don't think you're going to want to give over both the Jayce and the Ori.
Their flock again. Get him.
He's probably going to need a couple of those couple taps to knock him down.
Couple more of his own nails to seal the coffin.
Yeah.
Well, we will have the buy locked in,
go.
but instead of the Orianna, it will be that Syndra that you mentioned. The previous champion select, Azael, has been becoming more popular as a bottom laner, too.
Yeah, exactly. It has been getting played bottom lane quite a bit, mid lane quite a bit. So it does have a lot of plays, globally around the world, 40 mid lane and 19 bot lane so far this split. So
okay, so 2/3 split.
Exactly. But definitely could be going either way. And both teams looking like they are going to pass up on that Orianna for now. I thought it would have been the Orianna alongside that buy, really get that engaged. But of course, you can do similar things with the Syndra, setting up with the Scav of the Week or following up on that Vial with Scav of the Week and trying to burst someone down.
And then this response from LYON is good because it works either way. Even if you rotate Syndra bottom, Viktor is very good generalist. Just try and scale into pretty much anything. You can scale. You'll have pretty good range, pretty good wave clear. Look to scale up and get some stacks yourself. And then they're getting Armao onto Xin, which is a very good matchup in Divide, especially early on, and does allow your jungler a lot more authority too. So if they've got some solid lanes to play around again, then the Xin does get to kind of dictate some of the early objectives.
Yeah, absolutely does. And I always feel like Xin works well into champions like Syndra, where the Syndra wants to try to move in and follow up, and it's different to get past him with that crescent guard. Olaf's going to get grabbed, though. So this is Olaf top. We saw this at MSI a few times. Yep. Being picked as an answer into the Jayce. Can be pretty hit or miss. If you can get ahead, if you can get those kills early, it really can look good. But if the Jayce is able to, just play Storm Raiders and avoid some of those deaths early, it can become pretty difficult, I think.
And I also like, considering LYON is playing with a substitute jungler, with someone who has been playing more top lane recently compared to his traditional jungle main role, I like the fact that they're putting him on these simple, staple jungle champions like the Jarvan, like the Xin Zhao. We're not getting flashy. We're not getting crazy. We're not having you play anything that you've really got to be like dialed in to know how it works. These are just very reliable champions. I like that there for Armao. The Olaf into the Jayce matchup is very interesting. Second half of the draft coming up, though, as Vayne is the first ban from Fly.
To me, the Vayne ban shows that they still think that the top lane might not actually be picked because there is possibilities of flexing things really around. Viktor has been getting played bot, so Viktor could go bot and Jayce could go mid, and you could try to do a cheesy counter pick into this Olaf. So I think that is their concern with this Vayne ban. I don't think you're worried about, blind Vayne bot lane, that type of situation. So
usually not feared.
Exactly. So it is interesting that they are still concerned about the fact that, even with Jayce Viktor, that top lane might not be actually picked, and that the Olaf could still get counterpicked. And that is some of the power that I think LYON has because they have a lot of flexible players. You have to be worried about all of these scenarios.
Okay, we've got the Bard banned out by LYON. They do not want to have that extra pressure onto the side lane when you're going to be playing something like a Jayce. Meanwhile, on the other side, The Pike ban from FlyQuest shows that they respect the Isles Pike. He has earned the ban status here in this first series of Summer Split.
Yeah, I mean, he was popping off at MSI. Really big performance on the champion. So let's see, though, because this does put a little bit more question on the reveal for the bottom laners. And I want to see if we're going to continue and have 2 of 2 games have mages again, if they're actually going to rotate or not.
All right. We'll see here. FlyQuest, they know that if they lock in the AD carry or the bot laner, then that's going to give it away. Okay. But if they lock in the support, it still keeps their opponents guessing on where Syndra is going to go. So although support is normally saved for last to get the support counter matchup, since they dictate so much in lane, because of the current state of Mage's bot, they instead want to keep LYON scratching their heads on where Syndra's going.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you let them know for sure where things are going, then LYON has full info to flex things around on their 4-5 here, right? So they could put a different top laner top. They could move things around, but they don't know what the matchup is still. So that makes it a lot more difficult. It's going to be Volibear. How do you feel about Volibear versus Olaf?
I mean, I feel like
that's what we're getting.
That's a one where whoever flinches first loses.
Just got to click the other guy and stay
Close your eyes and start right-clicking.
And I would say,
that's how I like to play.
if I'm the Volibear and I have Xin on my side, I'd never flinch. So if my jungler is the Xin for early, I feel like that should be LYON positive.
Zin's like your hype man. He's keeping you confident.
Yeah, exactly. That's your boy.
This, bro. Take that all in.
Because as long as I don't get hit with a full charge, or my Xin doesn't get hit with a full charge Vault Breaker, we're going to win that.
And post level 6, support Shen. That's going to make you feel pretty comfy too.
Yeah, there you go. Xin for the early, and then Shen ultimate for the later. I like that.
And even early on in MSI, when Isles is Camille and Pike, we're having a lot of fans feeling a little hesitant. His Shen was showing up from the start. I feel like Isles on the Shen, very, very powerful, especially when you consider champions like Olaf, who need a lot of auto attacks. The Spirit's Refuge can do a lot, but the final pick of the draft for FlyQuest is Sylas for quad. How are we feeling about the value that he gets from the ultis he can steal? Because I feel like Shen and Zhao are both huge value ultimates.
Yeah, they are really, really big. I always hate to see Sylas when I'm playing Shen because I just feel like he's just getting more out of this ultimate, which can be really, really powerful to steal. Volibear's whatever, Viktor's kind of whatever, but I do think there's a couple good ones. Crescent Guard can be really powerful. The Stolen Stand United can be very, very powerful. And it is going to be that expected Viktor bot, the Jayce mid, and that volley top. And the question becomes, how much are they going to flex around in bot? Are we actually locking in with this? Because now it's down to 20 seconds. So
all right,
looks like it is going to be...
Massu's going to take the Sylas.
Sylas versus Jayce as well. So the Jayce went bot too. So that was actually pretty unexpected for me. I thought it was going to be
This is kind of crazy.
This is really crazy. I think they're both kind of trying to guess where each other are going, looking for specific matchups. And at the end of the day, I don't even know if they're like, which team is happy with this? Because we're in this weird world.
Is anyone happy with it?
So I presume that LYON are probably happy with how it turned out because they get their Viktor into Syndra just kind of scaling there. And then they also get the Jayce on bottom side to, with a Shen, I feel like you're threatening some good kill pressure onto the Sylas down there. So the guess here, for me at least, is that LYON are decently happy with it.
That's kind of my feeling too, but I can't say I've ever watched Shen Jayce versus Sylas Rell.
You telling me you don't know this matchup, bro? Come on.
I mean, in my head, it's like Jayce is poking you and getting push, and then if you all in, you get taunted potentially by Isles, and then things get really, really hard with Spirit's Refuge. Dhokla is playing Ignite, Isles is playing Ignite, Cryogen's playing Ignite. It's double combat summoners across the top lane. This is going to be spicy.
I think that LYON are going to win both sides then, because if you have Ignite for Volibear, then you for sure are going to have the confidence, to bully top, and your junglers are going to get pulled everywhere. Everywhere, like both sides should be volatile. Top lane as well as bottom lane should be opportunities because Sylas is going to have to use up health to be able to get minions.
Yeah, the ghost on Olaf feels great when you're running after carry targets in team fights. Volibear's not going to run away from you. Yeah. He's just going to stand there and smack you right in the face with his big old bear claw, and then you're going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, but bear claw and bite you too.
Yeah, bear teeth too. Down here in the bottom lane, scrapping back and forth a little bit, trading blows, but honestly, nobody's doing anything wild just yet. Both junglers are starting on their respective bottom side quadrants, so they'll be pathing towards that top lane that we expect to be very explosive. We expect to be a game of chicken between these bruisers.
I like how in chat as well, we got Massu saying tactics, and then they're like season 16. There's definitely a wild world out there now, as we're kind of just in this crazy mode of mages are going bot, then people are like, well, what were the counter of those mages in mid lane? But I want to talk a little bit about FlyQuest, and this quote, I was talking to ThinkCard yesterday, and he was telling me at the start of the year, you know, that it was going to be a process, developing this roster, a lot of young players. They have looked at it as preparation for summer split, for this split. And that is where the expectations start to change for this roster. He told me point blank, they're going to Worlds. They're going to qualify. He believes that. The team is confident in it. But that does put a different level of pressure, I think, on this team. We can see they've been getting better split over split. Lock-in was pretty rough. Last split, they were very competitive. You know, they did end up getting knocked out earlier than they would have hoped in playoffs, but still very, very competitive. And so if they can continue that improvement, they can definitely make it to Worlds, but it's going to be interesting now that they actually have pressure on them. The expectation is you must succeed now, whereas the other splits were looked at, oh, you know, just get better.
Yeah, exactly. I talked to Gryffin as well. It's similar sentiments, and now Griffin's face-checking into the Xin here early on. That is very good for Armao, and he forces the flash.
Yeah, that was dire news. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, Berserker under a lot of pressure, flashing away, trying to survive. Massu chasing him underneath the turret. It's first blood back over to the Sylas, making it 1-for-1 as Isles and the turret get revenge. Isles continuing to march forward, but he does not have the cooldowns to get a second kill. So an even trade in bottom side, but first blood belongs to FlyQuest in game 2.
Yeah, the minions are pushing away from them, but they do have teleport. Both of them have teleport, and Isles cancels his recall, as does Cryogen. We're going again, round 2.
They immediately try to go in for the taunt onto Massu, but instead it's a mistake, a blunder from LYON. Isles wanted to hang around and see if they could spring a trap, but they're the ones who end up in danger as Massu and Cryogen triumph in the 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy. Isles obviously cancels his recall because he thinks Cryogen base, and he's like, ha, we're surprising you, but Cryogen canceled his recall too.
Let's take a look, guys. They don't have, oh, well, let's see as it plays out. So this is the first one.
Yeah.
Cryogen trying to force it. And they are going to get the full combo here onto Berserker, forcing his flash, even though he does a good knockback flash.
Yeah, not the easiest thing, but Isles needs to block the absconded duck follow-up. I think if he flashes in front of that or taunts in front of that and actually blocks that, I think Berserker lives, and it's a very different 2v2. But did get taken down, and then Massu gets another kill off that re-engage they attempted on the TP, and that turns a little bit rough because now Sylas is in this position where we've seen Sylas in mid lane. It's the same principle, range versus melee. You're surviving, but once you get ahead, you can start threatening all-ins over and over and over.
Ooh, nice scat of the week from Quad as Cryogen makes the rotation over to mid lane to follow it up, provide a little bit more damage. Saint not going to use the flash, calm under the pressure.
Okay, meanwhile, without all the cameras on top side, because all the action is bottom side too, the Ignite Volibear here is being able to get the push out, did get the bounce back, and we've got another wraparound gank.
Yup, this is trouble for the LYON bot side duo. Remember, there's no flash available on Berserker. They are immediately going to go right in after the Jayce. It's all too easy once Gryffin shows up. Berserker is dead for the second time as Isles can do nothing to try to save him in the 2v3. FlyQuest having a much better early game.
Tactics. It's just bot lane tactics here, baby. You got it. Bot lane Sylas Rell combo. Go gank. Keep the action going. Not looking for CS, looking for kills, and now they're starting up the dragon.
Yeah, you can tell they're having some laughs about it too. Quad when Berserker died is just spam pinging Jayce dead again.
Well, the dragon is not going to be a legal maneuver here as Dhokla jumps in after Gakgos, doesn't commit his own ult, but forces out the Ragnarok. And now that Olaf, who's been on the back foot in this matchup, well, he's on his butt at this point. There is no way for him to try to stand and fight no ulti against Volibear ready to go.
Yeah, and I believe that wave was pushing away from him too. That is a rough spot versus Volibear that has Ignite. I mean, this is why it's so popular to go for these matchups. And so you got to send reinforcements. They are sending reinforcements instantly here because Gakgos just kind of watching.
Yeah, I mean, that is always such a tough spot to be in when you're just watching minions die, but they're moving up here, lying around.
Yep, it's Armao and Ios immediately coming in, looking to start up this fight. Armao dropping the crescent guard as Dhokla swoops in from the side, and Gryffin's already going to be killed down in the bottom lane here at the same time. Berserker down to 100 HP, flash over the wall coming out from Gakgos. Berserker triumphs here in the 1v1 as Quad flashes over the wall to get away from Saints. It's LYON popping off in 2 different places at once. Berserker with the outplay. LYON with the better skirmish in the topside river. Isles is not done yet. He's going to find the potential recall, auto attack, shadow dash, auto attack. Isles buries Quad.
Beautiful there. He had plenty of time. Calls in the Q. He can wait for the Q to come through. Instant taunt, so there's no escape there either. And hey, let's just get Berserker more 1v1 time. I think that's the name of the game. Him versus Massu in the 1v1s have been incredibly, well, and the first game was very one-sided. This one was very close and very exciting.
Honestly, I thought Berserker was dead. He had, I want to say 5% or less HP, but Massu is still level 5. He hit level 6. He had that level up, had the experience advantage. Obviously, Jayce not getting some crazy ult, but you still are getting stats. You're getting additional damage from that. And he just went hammer for him and just smacked down Massu before Massu had another spell back up that would have given him the kill for sure. And now, even with those early kills that Massu got, he's down 14 CS, and he's down an entire level again.
All right, back to the Dragon Pit. 1,000 gold lead for LYON, but neither side wants to do anything audacious around this objective.
And Massu, with his first Sylas steal here, goes for the Shen ultimate, which could be very interesting considering he also has teleport. So they have double teleports plus a stolen Shen ultimate. And Isles doesn't have his yet, and he's under attack in the pit.
Yep, that's only a level 4 Shen trying to get away here as Gryffin uses the ulti. He was thinking if Isles tries the shadow dash over the wall, I can follow him here with a cease and desist. Isles waits though, and now he's going very far behind enemy lines. No help is coming. Quad should be able to take this kill, no problem. Goes ahead and commits the unleashed power. I don't really think the ultimate was entirely necessary there, but Quad wanted to make sure that he got the kill and got back to lane.
Exactly. The minions were coming close to tower, so he's like, I'm not chasing you around, buddy.
I mean, that was really nicely done. This is that 1v1 back earlier, and I thought, when I looked down at that point, I thought that Massu had it for sure. Right? That looked so close. That was one auto attack away or, you know, a W coming back up, anything, and he got it. But Berserker just has the confidence to go for the kill, makes the play happen, and that is big for Berserker.
Yeah, and it's, again, Berserker here, you know, on one of these non-traditional bottom laners where he's checking the damage, and he's like, all right, I think I go back in right now. I have the burst damage. Topside, though, Dhokla.
Yeah, Dhokla looking to get away. Commits his ulti defensively. Fine with that trade because Gakgos already used the Ragnarok here on his Olaf, so now both top laners just going to equalize back out to a no ulti state for the next minute and a half, somewhere thereabouts, and Dhokla loses essentially no HP for the time of the enemy support.
Yeah, I mean, that looked very, very non-threatening, shall we say, on that all-in. But Cryogen is back, and now he doesn't have it all this time. Let's see.
Yep, the first one didn't work, so let's try it a second time. Dhokla, the focus of not only Cryogen and Gakgos, but Gryffin now also ready to join the party. Dhokla has no flash. There's no way out here for the Volibear. They give the kill over to Gakgos, and FlyQuest takes the lead in kills yet again.
Yeah, Dhokla realizes he's dead, so he just focuses down the wave. He's able to finish that off here, but LYON are looking for a potential play. They TP'd Berserker up. They've got 3 top.
Yeah, Armao clearing out the control ward here in the tri-brush. They shouldn't be aware of Isles' positioning, I don't believe.
W to stop recalls.
Yeah, Armao steps up when becomes lightning, stopping that recall exactly as you're saying. Cryogen and Gryffin making their way up. Berserker looking to put the damage into Gakgos, kill off the Olaf, trying to get back away from the turret aggro. As now it's a finish kill from Gryffin. Berserker dies. Armao, the weak are scattered, and the Zhao falls. It's a big overcommit coming in from LYON. FlyQuest sends the whole team and crushes the attack.
Yeah, they try to pull off this dive, but Berserker pulled tower aggro. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but it looked like the tower went straight onto him. As they back out, yeah, it swaps onto him, and Cryogen is CCing him up. He flashed out over the wall, but the ulti was already buffered from the Vine, just turns it into a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, and it was, Isles had the aggro, and then he just walks out of range, and he's still attacking for Berserker, so he grabs it, and the collapse for FlyQuest, yeah, he's laughing about it as the Vine came to find him afterwards, but FlyQuest with a huge move. This is big for the series. This is big for them because they already had the Dragon. Now with 1,000 gold lead after this topside play, are going to be feeling much more confident.
So this is actually also the first bot Sylas in LCS history. It's only the second in Tier 1
I'm
history.
not surprised
at all.
Yeah, that's I believe that stat.
I believe that too, but second in all of Tier 1? That's pretty crazy. The only time it was actually played before this was Mir in the 2019 OPL. And hilariously enough, Isles was his support. So
Isles is the common denominator of these shenanigans.
Is the Sylas bot guy.
Isles is like, I've seen this before. Don't worry, Berserker.
Ooh, I've seen that before too. Gryffin making another trip up here to the top lane. They get another kill on the Dhokla's Volibear. Gakgos on the Olaf, closing that gold gap as Quad flashes over the wall to escape a potential play there from LYON. And we heard from the analysts at the top of the day when they were giving their thoughts about the matchup. Jat was saying that, you know, Gakgos has looked good on carries. This is a player who can perform on something that's not just a meatball here in the top side. So Gryffin really enabling this Olaf to be a terror in the team fights. I like the strategy.
And when you play Olaf, you kind of have to play towards Olaf, right? Like, this champion has no fallback pattern. It has no utility. It is run at you, and either I die or you die.
You're a ball of stats.
Exactly. So you need to get this guy into a good position. He has that first item now completed. And it is going to be tough for champions like Viktor and Jayce potentially to survive if he can get a good angle and get in onto them with that Ragnarok up. We also know that there's potential of, you know, Rell engaging at the same time, of the Vi ult, of a Stolen Stand United to buff him up and enable him. So there are tools there for FlyQuest to turn Gakgos into a demon.
Yeah, I mean, their dive is really strong on FlyQuest, so they can continue to push aggressively for Vision to set up for these objectives and then find your flank angles, because as you say, you can't stop a Vi or an Olaf. Like, they literally, they can both go just immune to CC on the engages. And Massu here with the Sylas has some pretty decent ultis to steal to go for it and back them up. This play is being scouted by Vision, but they don't care.
Yep, they're just going to full send after Berserker. The Jayce about to fall. He fights as long as he can, but ultimately FlyQuest get what they came for, 11-5, 1,500 gold lead. They are looking so much better here in the second game. 10 seconds until the next dragon spawns, and the enemy carry is dead, even as it happens.
Yeah, it's nice to see FlyQuest battling back here. You know, even with Inspired, they were battling pretty well back and forth against LYON last split. They did take him down in the regular season.
Okay. They warded here. They're kind of scared. If you find Jin, it's good. Wait, can we look, guys?
You can.
I think we can go. I think we can go. I'm going. He used Q.
They can be behind. TP.
Only TP. I think we can look to one shot and leave. Okay.
You guys want to fight?
We're chilling. Chill.
Okay.
Chill. They get the kill. Get back to this dragon. I think they can defend this dragon too. Armao is trying to sneak it away, but he doesn't have the damage.
Yeah, this is not particularly quick with just Zhao solo DPSing the Drake. Down to 3,000 HP on that one. Nice scat of the week. Dhokla loses 1/3 of his HP, but still confident enough to stay here on the front line. Cryogen stepping up alongside Gryffin. Now Isle's going to be the target for Massu as the Sylas moves forward. Drake control. Forced away, and FlyQuest will take Drake number 2.
Meanwhile, top side, they're just going to push the wave out and collect the other one. So FlyQuest here really building us towards the comeback in this series. And again, their dive is so strong that there's not a lot you can do to stop about this if you don't have the damage. Because otherwise, the Vi and the Olaf are kind of guaranteed in there, and since you've got a Rell plus a Sylas as well from your bottom lane, you have even more engaged from a double melee bottom lane that is so rare in competitive league. And this is one of the upsides of this FlyQuest young roster that people love watching, is how aggressive they can be when they have tools like this at their disposal.
And just the unique picks that they have the confidence to bring out. You know, Emily talked about it on the pre-show. You know, we saw Gryffin obviously bringing out the jungle Shen, the jungle Nasus. We saw, you know, Quinn. We've seen a lot of different picks bring out that other people weren't really playing that much. And they had the confidence to bring it out. They feel like, hey, this is the spot for it. This is the right pick. Let's go for it. And it's cool to see them continuing that in summer.
Okay, let's see who's going to be first to the Rift Herald pit. It looks like Armao is already in there, starting that one up. Meanwhile, Dhokla in some trouble up here on the top side. Unleashed power forces the defensive ulti out of Big Dokes. The bear nearly dead, forced to back off, and that means that Armao can also no longer maintain the confidence to take the Herald. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, it's another play coming out from FlyQuest. They find the kill onto the enemy mid laner. Back up in the top side, Armao trying to re-engage after quad. Cryogen following up behind him, trying to protect his own mid laner. Cryogen gets through, throws back a stun to keep himself and his mid laner alive. Gakgos still putting in work in the bottom lane, tier 1, as FlyQuest disengages up here from the topside river at the same time. 2,500 gold lead for FlyQuest. The Rift Herald restarted now by LYON, and it looks like they will be able to claim that one. FlyQuest backs away, but they'll take first turret in the bottom lane in trade. Yeah,
great moves from FlyQuest. Again, the bot side, you saw that dive, the double unstoppable Vi and the Olaf. You kind of feel bad for Viktor, maybe. Maybe you don't if you don't like the champion, but there's not a lot he could do about it. Now they're going for Isles a little bit here as well. They don't know who else is behind, and they do get the shock blast, but FlyQuest, they make the dive on the side lane bot to get the kill and then get the tower afterwards, and then they can still cover with a stolen Shen ultimate from Massu, the other side of the map, so they don't even lose anything on the other side of the map. Really nicely done.
All right, we're not done topside. This time, Dhokla has to use his flash to get away. The ulti not available here yet again. That is the second unleashed power coming out from the Syndra, trying to get the kill here onto this Volibear. One more orb should be able to do it, but Dhokla with a nice heal there, stays alive.
Holy.
Big Dokes at 11 HP, manages to survive another attempt from FlyQuest, but he's in no position to continue defending.
No way.
They're still not done. Gryffin wants to commit. He goes in, and he smites him down like a minion. Gryffin claims the bear camp, and FlyQuest get themselves their 13th kill.
We got some posters on the top lane. They're chasing after this bear, taking him down. It was pretty well played by Dhokla. Got that second hit of his W for that big heal. You can see Cryogen was trying to like kind of dance around on the range of it, but ended up giving it to him.
You know what's super funny? I was thinking when he was he casted his E and he was waiting Volibear for it to come down and give him the shield. I was like, just keep running, get out of there. Like, there's no like Ezreal ult that's gonna come kill you. But then because he waited for his E to fall there, the Vi got in range, and the Vi was able to chase him down at tier 2 and ends up getting the kill. I mean, that's not going to break the whole game, but it definitely is going to be an added bit of extra money to lend to the second item here for Gryffin and continue the snowballing for FlyQuest.
Yeah, I mean, that might not break the whole game, but this might on the top side, as they are massively ahead on these two unstoppable champions, right? We have the Vial, we have the Olaf ult. They're going to be flying in, and they are super fed.
Yep, and you're talking about breaking the game in the top side. I feel like the moment that really broke this game was that blundered attempted dive from LYON that FlyQuest were able to get a 4-for-1 for. That game has been FlyQuest's ever since, and it's not stopping. Dhokla's still trying to escape. He gets another nice heal with a Volibear, but no way. Gryffin and Gakgos have more than enough damage to burn through that drain tanking, while the Rift Herald is summoned up in the mid lane. That's going to take the tier 1 turret. So at least LYON's going to get something back there, but it's still FlyQuest with that 3,500 gold lead, with the first 2 Drakes. It's 10 seconds until the next one spawns. They would love to be able to move to Soul Point, as Armao, Isles, and Saint all have to try to get away. Saint is going to be the target here for Cryogen as he jumps over the gravity field, continues chasing after the LYON mid laner. Gakgos throws the axe out, but it's not going to find the target here just yet. It will not matter. There goes Saint. His prayers go unanswered, and FlyQuest are heading straight over to the Drake. They'll grab Soul Point 20 minutes into the game.
Exactly, Soul Point here now, so a massive win condition. They're already really in control of this one, and just continuously putting the pressure onto LYON. And so much of the story is we're maybe going to see a little bit of a fight here.
Maybe. Cryogen continuing to walk away. Armao and Isles, between the two of them, don't have a ton of damage, so Cryo's just fine.
A lot of the story between Lock-in and the second split was about the fact that...
Ainsley, what do you guys think?
I can go top.
Yeah, I think it's best. And I want to just keep killing Viktor on side, or make it really hard, at least so he can't get prio.
Viktor is the line. Viktor is June. Viktor is
Yeah, look Viktor.
He's that.
Wait.
Keep looking, and then you can start maybe Drake.
I'll start Drake. I'll cancel CP VTPs. You guys got it.
Use 1 CC. Do that.
Bill probably.
A nice comms there from FlyQuest, but yeah, Gryffin obviously really struggled when he went up against some of the big junglers in Lock-in, but second split, he was able to actually get a series win here against Inspired, and now this split, we're looking to see, you know, what is his ceiling?
And I like that he was the one calling to keep pressuring Viktor too there in the comms, because that is a big way that they're going to be able to push this game forward, is make sure that this mage that is hobbling around in the side lanes with his cane and has no...
You gotta kick his ass.
Yeah, no jumps of his own. You take the Vi, you take the Olaf, and you make sure that they're not able to have a good side lane presence there. and you make it hard for Saint to play the game, that opens up these neutral objectives for you if you can keep LYON pushed back. But we'll see if LYON can actually get that vision control for themselves as Saint's under attack again.
Yup, he steps up, but Quad is waiting in the brush. Scatter the Weak collides, but here comes Isles trying to help Saint survive. It's a massive counter engage from Cryogen, but there's no damage ready to follow it up, so Cryo falls. LYON keeps Saint going. They get a kill of their own in return. Now Gakgos is split pushing on the other side of the map here at the same time. Looks like FlyQuest won't get anything back.
Yeah, they were both setting up plays, but LYON were setting up a bigger play. You saw them all 5 into the river going to get Baron Vision. And so
now the play continues, though. Dhokla's going to be your target, but it's Gryffin who's killed off first. Shut down over to Armao as FlyQuest will also lose Massu. That's another 2 kills going the way of LYON. And this FlyQuest lead, this 3,500 gold advantage, has disappeared like magic. LYON have the enemy jungler dead for the next 30 seconds, and Baron is right there ready for the taking. Quad is not just going to let this happen, though. This Syndra sweeping around, wants to make some kind of a big play. He's got Cryogen coming up behind him. The Baron's at about 5,000 HP. Cryogen here in the pit. Gakgos also has arrived into the fight. The Baron's going to be your target. Gakgos makes his way in. The Baron going to be secured by LYON as Quad is about to die. Berserker grabbing the kill on that one as Armao is taken low. Gakgos still looking to find something. Over the wall goes Isles. Cryogen's going to die here next. It is a slaughter, and it's FlyQuest blood staining the river.
Never count LYON out, man. Those 2 consecutive plays, the domino effect. Flowers, the comeback is real here, and it all started because they made a 5-man play up to the Baron to get vision, and Saint's original Zhonias kept them alive to set up for this Baron play, Azael.
Yeah, and Quad, I just felt like kind of overcommitted. He just walked right into melee range practically. A Berserker let him get the hammer form Q onto him. Berserker knocks him down, and even though Gakgos was strong, he is not strong enough to do it all on his own. The lead is gone completely. They were down 5K. They now took Baron, wiped him off the map. They're up over 2,000 gold. Just like that, the game got flipped on its head.
And I feel like the big thing now for the FlyQuest side is you got to look at this Infernal Soul. That's got to be your way to try to retake control over the game, but it's Dhokla going in after Gryffin. It's Dhokla grabbing a kill. FlyQuest jungler dead for the next 45 seconds. He will be alive with about 30 seconds on the clock until that soul spawns. But right now, LYON's just using the opportunity to floor it. They're going straight for the enemy base. They take down the tier 2 turret here on the bottom side, and the push continues. They've got the Red Bull Baron power play for another 90 seconds. They're forcing down the tier 3 turret. Nobody on FlyQuest is able to defend against this right now. They've even got Quad up in the top side. They've got Gakgos over in mid lane just trying to get something back here in the split push because there's no way they can stand against LYON in a 4v5.
Oh, that was actually really close to interrupting Dhokla. Yeah, they're trying to get as much as they can, but the swap in this game for like the dominance that FlyQuest have been showing, it's just crazy how quickly this turned around. And Armao just harassing Gakgos. They have a TP coming in. They're going to try to chase him down.
Yeah, you go after him here, and even if he pops the Ragnarok to get away, he will not have Ragnarok for the dragon fight. That's the value there. So instead, you can see Gakgos decides to spin his flash instead of his Ragnarok because FlyQuest knows they really have to fight for this upcoming Infernal Soul.
Before FlyQuest tried to make the topside play onto Saint that resulted in this domino effect in this Baron play, FlyQuest were up 3,500 gold. Now they're down 3,500 gold. It's almost a 7,000 gold swing, and now one more fight could be the determining factor here as they're approaching the Soul.
Gryffin has lost half his HP there. That accelerated shock blast taking a massive chunk. LYON with control over the bottom side river. FlyQuest knows that they really, really need this Soul to bring this game back to an even state.
And Massu is trying to buy time for his ult to come back up. He actually used it on the Volibear ult and then just spent the Volibear ult because he realized that's not what I want right now. He has no TP.
He tries to go back in after Saint, lands a good chunk of damage. So Massu and Saint both going to be injured here, but it is LYON in the meantime that have earned themselves control over the objective pit, and they will claim the Infernal Drake, stalling out the Soul from Fly.
Just really well done here from LYON, being able to find a way to bring this game back. It felt like it was pretty much all wrapped up here, and that one fight has changed everything.
And one of the huge stories here for LYON, and one of the tests, the fun experiment at the beginning of summer was going to be how will they operate when they're under pressure tactically in games without Inspired. And here, when they were under tremendous pressure, you know, 3 dragons were against them. They group up, they as 5, go get vision of the Baron. Saint has a clutch Zhonya's play to delay, buy time, they turn into a kill, they force another one afterwards, and they're able to retake control here as we're approaching the later stages of the game, and now they're in a very powerful position.
It's also really cool because this is something that LYON actually talked about working on, is being able to be better in chaotic games and in these chaotic moments at making the correct decision in a fast-paced game where there's lots of fights happening, where there's lots of action happening, where it's not so clear, where it's just, okay, show up for the next dragon in 5 minutes. You have to make decisions really, really quickly. Inspired has talked about that. LYON has talked about that as being a really big focus for them in last split and going into MSI, and I feel like we're getting to see some of that paying off here.
And now we've got a Guardian Angel for Berserker, so he's really liked the melee form of Jayce, and now he can really get in there. The Jayce burst damage on 4 items is very real. Armao's got his Guardian Angel too, so we have another 7-person roster in the LCS now with 2 revives on the side of LYON. They are going to be
Zhonya's and a Seekers and a Locket. It's like, oh man.
The next team fight is just so heavily favored with all the extra lives now on LYON. If they could force it, like before Gryffin gets his Guardian Angel, which I think they will be able to do.
I mean, it's essentially there's no way to have a fair fight against a team with 4 I can't die buttons.
Yeah, and Griffin's actually going for Death Stance here too. So I mean, it's going to be a 7 lives versus 5 type of situation. We'll see.
I mean, that pretty much just tells me that if you're FlyQuest, you cannot allow this next fight to get to the point where you look at each other 5v5 and then decide to take a team fight. It must start unfair, and it must start on your terms, because a fair fight is not a fair fight against double Zhonyas, against double GA.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. And I mean, Quad here is almost 16, almost has death cap, but it's hard to actually get good use.
Okay. That almost was what they needed. They got the flash out of Isles, so that's something.
It is definitely something, but I mean, Berserker's getting a lot of poke too.
Oh, they're flanking. They're making.
Okay. Is this what they want? Isles again could be your target. Nice scatter the weak there from Quad. Finds half of the HP on the Viktor. Meanwhile, Isles back in the pit now. Stand United stolen away by Massu. They want to go in. They've already found the LYON support. Now Dhokla trying to get a kill back. Quad's under a lot of pressure. Has to try to get himself away. Cryogen burning down in the backside of the Baron pit here at the same time. Stand United coming in, looking to keep him alive, but Dhokla's already got the kill. Nice shot coming in from Berserker to make it a twofer as it's a 3v3 on the map now. Saint, Armao, and Berserker versus Gakgos, Gryffin, and Massu. Berserker getting away for now. Gryffin barely staying alive, but he burns down to Saint. Berserker on the Jayce. He turns it around, he outplays it, he's dominating. Gakgos, nothing but a corpse on the floor as Massu has to run. A bloodbath in the topside river is a 4-for-3 favoring LYON.
That was a wild fight that starts out with everyone chasing Isles into the pit.
Yeah, Isles did a really good job of holding his Shadow Dash for so long, buying a ton of time, made them commit a lot of resources to go onto him, and then Dhokla here, I didn't think there was any way he was killing Quad when he had to use the stasis early. Look at this stolen Stand United. That's like 2,000 damage that he burst through from Massu's ult, and LYON are on the Baron here. Massu's back trying to keep him off.
Yeah, Massu stealing away the Zhao ulti, tries to jump in, make some sort of a play. Big abduct, hits Berserker, but where's the rest of the follow-up? The Baron already secured by Armao. Cryogen makes his way into the pit. They're going to find Guardian Angel number 1. Isles is already down. Armao trying to fight here for the 1v3, but Berserker resurrects. Now going to be knocked down for real this time. Massu and Cryogen in the 2v1 against Armao. They're going to have to take the Guardian Angel, then the Zhao himself, but they've got to get away because Big Dokes has arrived. He's got Saint right behind him, and Cryogen falls, but now Gryffin is showed up. Massu wants to jump right back in, and the fight's not over. Gakgos joins the fray, and Dhokla takes a ton of damage. Goes golden for a second, tries to keep himself alive here with the ulti, but he won't be able to out-heal it. Now Saint's under pressure. Gryffin diving into towards the mid laner as the resurrection comes through, but Gryffin is already dead. Massu continuing the chase now with a stolen Arcane Storm. Another Zhonya's comes out. Armao wants to turn it right back around. It's a double kill of it as Saint. Gakgos needs a little bit more damage. The gravity field's going to slow him down, but it will not kill him here just yet. Armao turns around, and LYON get the ace.
This is the LCS, baby! What a series to kick it off here. It's just a brawl back and forth. 43 kills in 30 minutes here.
Oh my god, this fight! Let's take a look at it. Massu goes in with the Zin ult. He's trying to focus down and take out Berserker, who does have a GA, as does Armao, and so they have to start getting through these lives. But then look at the rift right now. Volibear is heading over immediately, so Dhokla's gonna arrive, and then you also have a revive and a teleport coming from Saint 2 to keep the party going.
Exactly, it just kept going, and then the Olaf respawns, he TPs in, Saint is trying to keep him away, but Gryffin arrives, and they just constantly are throwing themselves into these fights time and time and time again.
And then look at the body blocking. Oh.
We're not done, hold on, Saint's gonna get dove now by Gryffin, going in after the enemy mid laner, but he can't find the kill. Cryogen's flank should now just turn into a grave for the Rell. He has no damage to back him up, but he can make enough distance to use the blast cone for the extra escape. Accelerated shock blast continuing to chip away at the health bars of FlyQuest LYON. Now again, they have stopped the potential Infernal Soul from FlyQuest. They have an 8,000 gold lead. They're barreling through the tier 3 turret here in the mid lane while the inhibitor is already exposed in the bottom side. It's a 5v3 here for the next 25 seconds. LYON wants to end this game and make it a clean 2-0 series to kick off summer against FlyQuest. And they're poised to do just that. Bottom lane inhibitor about to crumble, and the full 5-man press comes out from LYON. First Nexus turret already down. Cryogen tries to go in and mount the defense, but it will not do a thing. Gakgos shot through the heart as he tries to dive towards the carries. Massu's the last man standing, and he too will fall. It was a back and forth bloodbath here in the second game, but LYON prevails and clean sweep FlyQuest 2-0 to start off summer.
Wow, what a comeback for LYON in that game, facing Soul Point, facing like a 4,000 gold lead.